You want this junior chicken? You got a junior?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's yours. You can munch it.
I knew you were going to say it, but I'm going to eat it anyway.
Friends versus company, we wrote that on the board. Like, I kind of got briefed on it, but this is your pod today, so I'm going to let you just man it.
No, it's your pod. But, so, and this is, I got to preface, no one told me to preface this.
Definitely.
It seems like I'm taking shots.
Yeah, definitely.
At like 90% of my friend group, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a
This
theory.
is just, it's a theory, and it's
Okay.
actually true. And like, for whoever hears this, like, there's no reason, like, no one's taking shots at anybody.
Odell,
That's the
baby.
craziest
Look,
thing
people
I've
want to
heard.
rip Odell apart.
Yeah, and I don't think this is some like out of left field, like
No, this is
unknown
facts.
idea. But
And
I
we've been talking
I just
about
think it's
this.
something that like I've thought of more and more. And my issue, and this is things I think about a lot because, for example, I have my little cousins. One of them's in high school. It's like a really important time frame. and
100%.
We all can look back
Yeah.
probably at early years of high school and think about how difficult it is. Like socially, it's hard, man. Especially in the
High
social
school, you
media
mean,
era,
yeah.
it's very challenging to navigate through that and be okay.
Yeah.
It just is. So the one thing I started to realize over the last, I'd say, year and a half is you need to invest in things that are going to make you a little bit happier. And it's all about where you place power in your life, right? So there's certain things and relationships that we have that are
That's
going to
a
have...
really good point you made about
Yeah.
that, where you place power shit.
So-
that one struck a chord.
Yeah, so like people, like certain relationships are always going to have power in your life, right?
Mhm.
Like think about important relationships that you have, like your parents. Obviously you're going to have power in your
course.
life. If you're in a relationship, you're
It
dating
affects your
someone,
mood. Like,
it's
those
gonna have power.
relationships affect your mood a
Your
lot.
closest friend groups, they're going to have power, right? So the issue I think that most people have, because there's such a worry about quantity in the social media era, like you're more pleased
The
by
numbers.
numbers.
100%.
Because
You're
I-
set
I-
up to fail because if you worry about the number, you're putting power into people's hands that
Don't.
you can't rely on to deal with that the correct way.
Right, it's not sustainable. It's definitely not one of those things that you want to rely on because it's variable.
Yeah, and we all
It's
and the
unpredictable.
unfortunate thing is, and I can only speak for myself, but when you're in high school and you're around so many different people, you do put power into people's hands that you don't even know or care about, or they don't even know you.
Yeah, 100%.
So the issue that does happen, I find it a lot of times, is you begin to think about the things that you don't have or the people that let you down, when in reality, based on your relationship with them, they should never be in a position to let you down in the first place.
I
So
agree.
I have this distinction of friends versus company. We have a lot of people that we would
Friends
call our
come before,
friends.
I like it.
I do think though, when you really narrow it down, your friends are only a small select few group of people. All those other people fall into the company category. They're just
Yeah.
people that you'll have a good time with when they're around.
Yep.
For us and guys our age, right? Like you can all think about the times when you go to the bar on a Saturday night, you run into some guy that you were friends with in high school, and then you're fucking bro tears. Oh man, love you, man, miss you. How you
Yeah,
doing?
you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
nice
let's
people
talk
that
again
are-
soon, and then you never do it again. And in reality, those people are company.
It's not, which is
There's
not a
still
bad
good-
thing.
yeah,
You
it's
kind
not-
of
it's
need
not a
them.
bad thing.
Like,
It's
it's
not a bad
impossible
thing.
to be close
No.
with so many people.
It's
It's
not a bad
impossible.
thing.
I know, but it is good to make that distinction, though, to
It's
know
important.
that, because like he said, that's where the power factor comes in. Where it's like,
Absolutely.
and I noticed that like when you feed that power to the friend side, you just start to appreciate your time more.
Yeah,
And you're
of
just
course.
happy, man.
Yeah, dude. Like,
So,
I think a lot of people had that revelation through college years because you like you were. I don't know if you want to get into it, but I remember you had a moment where you told me about how you felt like you were alone at times, and we don't have. You know, like I felt the same way. So like, it's one of those things where you value friends. Yeah, I didn't want to get too
No,
into
that's
it
fine.
because it's your call.
So here's my thing, right? And it's just, and it, like I said, it comes down to knowing where to put the power. So when you, and we've all been there, it's a Saturday night, you're in your house, no plans, and then you see on Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram, a bunch of your friends are out together. They're at a pre, they're going out for the night, they look like they're having a great time.
Facts.
And then we have that like, well, why didn't anyone tell me about this?
Yeah.
Right? And then you're hurt by it, and you're
Yeah.
in your feelings, and you're a little bit upset. But in reality, you gotta recognize that, like, when you recognize those, and I'm not saying this happens with friends too, and that can hurt, and that's okay though. That's like normal.
Yeah.
Because some people have to have power in your life. It's just the way it goes.
It's just the way it goes.
But like, when you start to put power into the hands of those people that will consistently let you down, you're just setting yourself up to not be
I
happy.
agree.
And in the
It's
time,
hard to let go too, though.
100%.
Yeah.
But in a time when we look at things of, like mental health is such a large conversation, we always think about or talk about how do you avoid the bad things. I just think we need to start doubling down on the good things.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
When I
For
recognize
sure.
my friend group and people that I hold near and dear, like I'll use Noah as an example. Like I see Noah more than anybody in my life outside of people I work with. But the amount of time is like a good thing.
That's
It's
love.
but there's a I prioritize that time because it's important, right? And when you start to do that and prioritize time with people that like you really care about or really have add value to your life, those aren't the people that are gonna let you down. Like they're just not.
Yeah, 100%. You
That's
have to.
absolute
Once
bars.
sometimes
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about like the whole feeling alone shit, and I want to take the positive out of that.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know.
You have to be alone, to be honest. I feel like to get like in your actual bag, to know who you like.
That's exactly
Bro,
what I was
people
gonna get at.
claim this shit like, oh yeah, but really they're just the yes men, the one who are just like yes, like you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
take the. I think you got to take the time to be alone to actually know your shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like here's my
100%.
thing. It's like being alone gives you the time to reflect and be like, listen. Well, to be alone with your thoughts is a scary thing. It is
Oh, it
sometimes,
can be,
especially when
100%.
you're not in a
That's-
good.
Introspection.
Let's
is
be
important
let's
enough.
be real. Like it could eat away sometimes.
It could
Like
eat
your mind's
away.
powerful as shit.
But I'm an optimistic person.
Mm-hmm.
I take the good out of the bad always. I
I
always
try to tend to do that as well.
I look at the yin and the yang of everything.
Mhm.
Okay, you get the good out of the bad. I always try to evaluate bad moments and shit like that happens in my life
and
with
pick-
that philosophy.
and literally purposely pick the good shit out of it.
Yeah,
you have to
you
find
have to.
that.
So here's my thing, and like I've made it like it's a habit in my life. So let's say like for instance, in times where I felt like alone in college years, right? You look back and you think, okay, man, I have time to think about A, B, C, D, E, F, G people in my life. Okay,
Yeah.
you almost put it in a list in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and you look and you're like, man, does this person really have my best interest at heart?
Mm-hmm.
Like you evaluate it in the ratio of time spent versus what you're getting out of it,
Yeah.
or what you get back. You know what I mean? Like effort. It's
Mhm.
like I'm putting in. It should always be a 50-50 split with the people you love.
Mm-hmm.
The people you spend the most time with should always have a 50-50 ratio, effort in versus effort received.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I agree
Okay.
with that.
Sometimes it might be difficult
To honor that.
to honor that because you have people like parents in your life that, you know what, to say that you've ever done more for your parents than your parents have done for you is a hard thing to say for a lot of people.
We haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's impossible.
Well, the fact that they gave you life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, bro, are we on the same wave, dude? Come on.
Coming at you. But, you know what? In the moment, in those moments and times when you feel alone, it's hard. It's hard to think, yo, I'm going to get something good out of this. Because in that moment, you're like, this is the fucking worst I've felt. You feel like defeated. Nothing. It's hard to take the positive out of anything. Never mind a situation that sucks the most in your life right now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be happy about anything. You get a good grade, you're like, whatever, dude. I had to. You think about the bad that came with that good.
Yeah.
That's the other side of the yin and the yang.
Well-
you look at it like, oh man, I spent my Saturdays alone by myself. That's the only reason why I got a good grade. Like I wish I was flunking school and I had people who cared about me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you might even get trapped in that mindset.
But that's the thing, and that's why I find like, so I've always been a relationship first person. I've always prioritized relationships over everything, and to a fault in a lot of other areas of my life. Like, you have the big test tomorrow, the big exam. If my best friend calls me to have a 2-hour conversation on the phone, I'm picking up the phone, and that's to a fault, right? And it hurts you in other aspects of life.
Yeah,
and the one thing that I
could
believe.
draw that line.
one
It's
thing-
like, I need to do this. Dude.
But I'll just use the example here. So the one thing that I believe to be very true, there's nothing more important in terms of being mentally healthy and happy with life than the relationships that you have. Because at the forefront of everything, those are the things that matter most. Because if you don't have the support system, it's going to be really hard to keep going through the adversity that's inevitably going to happen. Right? It's your support system, the people that you speak to, the thoughts that you take in, you giving great insight on something, or Noah to me, that's adding value to my life, right? So the company you keep is extremely important.
Yeah, for
and if you don't have strong relationships,
You're a product of the 5 closest people in your life.
and they've said that, and I think that's very true, right?
It is
And
very true.
I think those are things that honestly hold a lot of weight.
Yep.
I've always valued and prioritized relationships first, which worked to my detriment for a lot of years while I was a student in school doing other things and not like kind
Keep
of
going.
maximizing potential.
It's
But
getting hot in here.
at the same kind of time though, when I look back at it now and some of the things that are working out in my life currently, it was well worth it. Do you know what I mean? And it all worked itself out, right? Like if you have a focus on building strong relationships, quality relationships that are going to help you move yourself forward in life, that always pays itself off in the end.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just kind of like a more of a bigger picture sort of look at it.
100%.
But it's funny though what you say about being like alone. I just think that like
I needed that though, because
Me
if I
too,
didn't
and that's-
feel that, because if I didn't feel that, I wouldn't have made the necessary decisions that I made in my life that made my life better moving forward. Like
Yeah.
that, those times of feeling lonely and like sad inside helped me. Well, Lamar Jackson's fallen.
he's
Miami's
got- I
absolutely
can-
trash.
He got
Miami's
another. They are
absolutely
trash, so it's not a real test, but still.
It's
Um,
it's a fair first game though.
My, those moments of like despair and like loneliness and just, you know what I mean, like you feel like everything is against you, your back's against the wall, like it's crazy how little things can make you feel that way too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nuts to me, but it does. But those moments
That's the power.
in my life like really made me the man that I am.
Yeah.
And it continues to, you know what I mean? Like those times where I feel really shitty, it's like now the first times I was feeling those really intensely,
Yeah.
I was weird about it because I had never felt that way before. Like
Yeah, it creates anxiety. At
it
times,
creates
man.
anxiety, and I
Yeah.
started to have an anxiety problem, dude.
Yeah.
Like seriously, straight up, I had to like cut a lot of shit back in my life just to like, you know, get myself together and
To feel okay, yeah.
and feel okay and figure myself out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it's like those moments help me, you know. And I don't care to. I'm gonna be completely transparent on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like I really don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy about this happening, but I had to cut out a lot of people that used to be close to me.
Yeah.
Like I used to look at and be like, this
Like
he or she was
as the
close to
person
me.
you want to give that 50% effort to.
And then
you
you're
know
not
what I mean?
getting
Like,
it
you
back,
wanna-
and you start pinpointing the exact people
They'll
and things
reciprocate it.
that
Yeah, dude.
are making you feel bad because
Yeah.
you're like, yo, man, like you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Like sometimes you hate to admit that it's a specific person that's doing the damage to you, or a specific group of people that's doing that damage to you.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really, really difficult for
Yeah.
you to admit it to
And
yourself.
let's make one preface here, and because sometimes I think when we talk about that, and then
I'm not taking shots, too.
no, and so I'm actually making that. So like sometimes people don't even do it intentionally. Like sometimes
they
it's
don't.
not even a malicious thing, right?
I know,
and
it's
that's
not.
the thing to distinguish of like.
And it's
hey,
selfish for you to like
you're
bring it
hurt-
up to them
You're
sometimes too.
hurting. Like this relationship isn't helping me, but it's not like you're a bad person. It's just like this isn't
Exactly.
giving me what I need, and I need to move on from it for my personal self.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're a bad dude. It's just like, hey, like this isn't helping me move forward. Or this isn't
Yeah,
actually
so you
providing
definitely have to
anything
know when to speak up on it for sure.